guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a trying new makeup video. These are my favorite videos to do. I feel like you guys are loving them, so let's keep it rolling. I am going to be using the Neon palette from Huda Beauty. You guys had asked me about this, so ask and you shall receive. We're going to be playing around with this. I also have this bronzer from Sephora collection. It's a huge bronzer, as well as one of the new Sephora Pro face palettes. I hauled this in a Sephora haul. This is the light one. We're going to start with this, see if we can kind of play with the highlights and maybe the blush. I have the new Dior Backstage Primer that I picked up, as well as the Tarte Stay Spray. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the Huda Beauty. I'm going to apply some shadows to my arm, and we're going to see how this performs. Also have this It Cosmetics Oil-Free CC Cream. It's not brand new, but it's new to me, so we're going to try it out. As well as this new brand, Makeup Obsession. This is in Target now. I have the Mega Conceal, so this is new. I have some other stuff. I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of like lips and whatnot, but those are kind of the main products that I feel like I'm really going to kind of hone in on. So if you want to see me try some new makeup, let's get started. So I'm applying some Shape Tape to my eyelid. This is just going to prime. I'm trying a new technique with my brows. When I was watching my 1 hour glam transformation, I really was like, wow, my brows take like half the time. So I'm trying some new kind of ways to do my brows, hoping I can find like a quicker way for, you know, days when I don't have an hour to do my eyes or my eyebrows. All right, so now that we're primed, I want to go into this neon palette. I'm going to use the neon orange palette. There's a pink, a green, and an orange. This one just looks so beautiful to me. I thought we could come up with something super cool. So I am going to start off, I believe, with this kind of orange shade down here and see what we can do. I'm going to fluff this in the inner portion of my crease. So take it in about halfway like that. So far, so good. Okay, so now I'm going to go into this a little bit slightly deeper shade. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to do this right here. Now I'm going to go into this pinky purple. I'm going to use this on the inner and outer corner. So now I think I want to go in with some concealer and do like a halo in the middle with a kind of like a cut crease. So I'm just going to take this tiny little brush. This is a Morphe M421. So now I'm going to go back into that matte shade and just blend any edges. Make sure that I still have that depth that I want. These are blending really nice. All right, for the center of the eye, I'm going to go into this green. All right, and then I'm going to jump into the shimmery pink. I'm going to use this to blend these two. That way it just looks a little bit more seamless. So blending the lime green into the matte. Okay, so I'm gonna go back into this like creamsicle, well, it's like a bright orange. And I'm gonna use a really small brush and just define above where we cut that crease, if that makes sense. So I haven't done a winged liner in a minute, so I think I'm going to do that today. Okay, so I got my wing on. I just did kind of like an elongated thin wing today, and I'm going to go ahead and apply mascara, and then we're going to pop on some lashes. So for lashes, I think I'm going to try these Exterior Glam Lash Set 0100 from Tarte. This is a collaboration. This is what they look like. They look kind of like a smaller Lily Mykonos. So let's go ahead and try out this primer. It has that Dior scent, which I don't love, but it feels really nice and smooth. It's kind of hard to describe. It doesn't feel like silicone-like. It feels just like nice and smooth and moisturizing. For foundation, I want to try this IT Cosmetics Oil-Free Matte CC Plus Cream. I have the shade Neutral Medium. It might be a little bit dark, but we'll make it work. I feel like I've heard people either love or really hate this. Okay, it feels a little weird on the skin, honestly. Like sticky. Coverage is nice. I can definitely see that it's matte. It just feels a little bit better now that it's been on the skin for a minute, but it felt quite tacky. So this is what it looks like. It's a nice full coverage. It looks nice on the skin. It just feels sticky, very sticky, which is kind of strange. I can definitely see that it's matte, but it just has a sticky feel, so I don't know how I feel about that. It just feels a little heavy on the skin. So I'm gonna go in next with concealer. This is the Mega Conceal from Makeup Obsession, which is a new brand at Target. I know nothing about this other than it says long wear with caffeine. So it has a huge doe foot applicator. Okay, so it looks like it's blending a little bit. I do feel like a little bit of patchiness right there. I'm gonna add a little bit more, like right here. They're both quite thick and sticky textures, so I don't know if it's just both of them together. So I feel like these two products are both very thick and sticky, and something about blending them on top of each other, I don't know. I feel a little bit of patchiness. I'm gonna go ahead and set with my Fair powder from Jeffree Star. I'm gonna set under the eyes and then all over. Hopefully that'll kind of take down that tacky feel. I mean, I feel like my skin looks smooth, but there's just some sort of like grabbing or tackiness I'm feeling, which just feels a little uncomfortable to me. All right, so I feel like my skin is looking nice. It does feel set down now that I set it with a powder, so hopefully it doesn't become too dry. But I'm gonna go in with bronzer now. I wanna go into this Sephora Golden Hour bronzer that I picked up. This looks so beautiful and creamy. I cannot wait to try it. Ooh, this is beautiful. One thing I am noticing about this, it's beautiful, it's blending beautifully, but it is so fragile. It almost looks like it's cracking if you put too much pressure on it. This is one that I would be careful not to drop. It's very soft and creamy, and for some reason it feels like it's not pressed super hard in the pan, so I can see like little cracks in there from when I put my brush in. So just really be careful with it. Go in with a light hand in terms of actually putting your brush in, because I pushed pretty hard just because this is a dense brush, and this is totally different than like the Fenty Beauty or something like that. This is like tap your brush in lightly and it'll pick up. So next up, I want to jump into this Sephora Pro palette for my blush. I want to go into this pinky shade right here. So this is the light palette. It's just a little bit light for me, so I'm hoping this will even show up. Okay, yeah, it does. It's a little bit light for me, but I think I'll make it work. I just think I am more suited for the medium. I'm gonna go into this shade Paparazzi for highlight. I am getting a little bit of a white cast when I look forward, but we'll fix that. Kind of press this powder into the sides of my nose to contour. All right, so I want to finish off the eyes. I'm going to go into the deepest shade right here, which is that pretty purple pink shade. Next, I want to go into this kind of red coral pink. I'm just going to blow this out. I have to say I'm pretty impressed with this palette. It's very easy to use. It's really pigmented. For my waterline, I'm gonna go in with this ColourPop gel liner in the shade Electric Daisy. We're gonna just bring in this green. This is not translating like I wanted. I'm trying to warm it up, but it's like poking me in the eye. Can we even see that? Okay, I think it's working now. It's just really subtle. So you definitely have to build this up and warm it up on the back of your hand. But it is showing up. It just took a little finesse. All right, so for the inner corner, I'm gonna go into that kind of yellow lime green shade. I just wanna tie it in, and I feel like I'm a little bit overloaded with pink. I think I'm just gonna apply some right in the inner lower part of my eye right there. So I went ahead and lined my lips with a brown liner, but I want to go in with this matte lipstick from Huda Beauty in Spring Break. This might be too bright and we might remove it, but we'll see. So I want to blend this in. So this might look absolutely crazy, but I'm gonna go in with this Lime Crime Gloss in Fluorescent Cherry, which is like almost like that lime yellow eyeshadow that we put on. This might be crazy. So the last thing I have to test today is the new Tarte Stay Spray Setting Spray. So what I know off the bat is it says it's waterproof and it's gonna make your makeup last all day. It has a nice sprayer, you can see right there. It's really nice and fine. It does have a cucumber scent, so it's more refreshing than like the Huda Beauty one. So the scent is a little bit strong, but it's a refreshing scent, so it doesn't bother me like the Huda one did. The second ingredient is denatured alcohol. I think that's just the way it is. Again, if you don't know, the Urban Decay All Nighter is the same way. I think that's kind of why they lock your makeup in. So I've applied some swatches of this palette just because this is what we use today on my arm. I'm going to spray one set of the swatches with the setting spray, and then I'm going to leave the other ones as is. I'm gonna wipe across them and see if this kind of locks it down. The same thing I did with the Huda Beauty spray. Okay, so you can see I have the two sets of swatches here. I'm gonna go ahead and spray the ones right here. Let's do 3 sprays just to be safe. So I'm gonna let it kind of sit down. First, we're going to rub across the ones without a spray. And you can see they're smearing pretty easily. So let me wipe off my hand and then we will try to do the same thing with the one we just set. All right, so it feels like it's dried down now. So my fingers are clean. I'm gonna go ahead and do the same exact thing. Just one swipe across. Oh, wow. Okay, so that actually helped. I think that even performed better than the Huda one. Let me try again. So I'm gonna wipe across pretty hard. So you can see that it's moving, but wow. I mean, I do have a tiny bit of this glitter. This one seemed to not want to stick, but these are actually hanging on pretty well. And then if you see again, let me wipe this again. So definitely think this might be a winner. So now I'm gonna spray this on my face just to make sure it doesn't kind of disrupt my makeup. I will update down below in the description bar in terms of my wear for the day. I feel like this foundation's looking pretty good and I don't feel like it's going anywhere, but we'll see if this helps. It definitely has that cucumber scent, so if you don't like cucumber, you will not like this. It's a little strong, but again, I think it's more about the fragrance. The Huda Beauty fragrance in there was just floral and it just made you kind of have a headache. This one's a little bit strong. I wish it was a little bit less fragrance, but it's a more refreshing scent, so it doesn't bother me. All right, guys, so here's my finished makeup look today. I feel like we found some winners. Let me start off with the primer. The Dior primer felt really nice on the skin. It felt almost like a moisturizer slash primer, maybe similar to my Stellar Beauty Brilliance primer, but a little bit smoother, less illumination. So I don't think this is gonna really give you like a super luminous glow. I don't notice any kind of like glitter particles in there or kind of shimmers in there. It's more of just like a nice light hydrator. I feel like it would work for a lot of skin tones, so I have high hopes for this. This is interesting. The It Cosmetics, when I put it on immediately, it felt so sticky. It felt like the Tarte, I don't know what it's called. I'll put a picture of it up here. The new one that's like skincare ingredients, and maybe that's why. Just a little bit tacky and very thick. But honestly, once I set it, it looks smooth, like really smooth. I don't feel like it's going anywhere. This concealer it looks nice under the eye, I have to say. I think this is super affordable. I don't know if I would pair these two together. I feel like if I'm using this again, I might go for a more dewy concealer and then use this one, try it out maybe with a more dewy foundation. I just feel like they're both a little bit thick and sticky, so together I felt like I had a little grabbing, but now that I'm looking at my makeup, I'm not noticing it. This Sephora bronzer is gorgeous. It just has a beautiful texture to it. I will say though that it looks like it's gonna crack because I pressed really hard into it with the brush that I used. I used this cheek brush from Real Techniques and I kind of pressed pretty hard because this is a dense brush and I felt like it looks like it's gonna crack. So I'll keep you updated. It almost looks like the bronzer is a really thin layer and then it's just kind of not pressed super hard. It's very soft. Think Flower Beauty kind of products or CoverGirl in the pans. Very soft, fine powders. This neon palette is hot fire. It is beautiful. It blended beautifully. I cannot wait to try the other ones. The packaging is to die for and the shadows are great. This Sephora Pro palette is gorgeous. I just think it's a little bit light for me, as I've said. The highlighters are beautiful. The blush is so-so. It's still a little bit light. If you're fair, you'll be able to use all of these because there's kind of these peachy cheek colors and then there's a nice light bronzer. The only thing that really is standing out to me for my skin tone in this would be the highlighters. I really like them, so I'm not sure if I'm going to hold on to them just because to keep this for 2 highlighters doesn't really make sense, but I really like the highlighters, so I'm kind of up in the air on that. This Huda Beauty lipstick is great. I actually like these way more than her first drop, which I did mention before. I just like the colors of these better. The first drop that she made of these were like mauve-y gray tones and they just didn't work with my skin tone. Love the wet cherry glosses. I've raved about these before. I love the formula on these and I'm actually really freaking impressed with this spray from Tarte. So again, I don't want to be, you know, putting denatured alcohol on my skin every day, but if I was going, you know, to a concert or I was gonna be sweating or like a wedding, I might use this because this actually performed better than the Huda Beauty and I like the smell a lot more. So that concludes today's trying new makeup. Hopefully I tried out some products that you guys were eyeing. I have a lot more videos to come, so much new makeup. So keep an eye out for these and also my first impression updates or follow-ups where I give you full reviews. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you in the next one.